Hi, this is Hugo with MyStarTV. I'm here with the founders of the KneedABrace, Rick Todd and Mike Todd. So tell us a little bit about yourselves.
Hi, my name is Michael Todd and Rick Todd. And Rick and I have actually been in the medical industry for, 27 plus years now.
That's right.
And we actually, believe it or not, started in the sports industry, both of us competitive water ski jumpers, long distance water ski jumpers, training together, and really working on ways that we can strengthen and give ourselves long distance water ski jumping skills. But during that process, we had some injuries, and those injuries were related to the knee.
So now explain to us a little bit how your company got started.
Well, in 2007, Mike and I opened this patient care facility, and during that time we started thinking that we should have a retail store instead of just a blank walls, and along with our patient care facility. And so we then did the surveys with the physicians and came up with the brochures, and in 2010 we opened our doors to KneedABrace, which is where we stand today. In 2013 we opened a second location in our office in Pleasant Hill, California, down by Walnut Creek. And so presently we have 2 locations operating pretty much on the same premise. And within those facilities, we also have a full-fledged orthotic and prosthetic facility called Collier Orthotics and Prosthetics. And, so we've been in operation for 10 years plus.
That's good. And so how are you guys keeping this research? You guys continue to improve the product as you see needed based on your surveys? Or as you speak with athletes or the physicians?
Yeah, the answer to that would be Mike and I and our staff go to many of the regional and national meetings for orthotics and prosthetics, looking at devices that are new. Sometimes we come back with new things and change them, and other times we don't find anything better than what we're already using, and we just keep using the same stuff because that's what's working. And then we also go to continuing education courses and have training ongoing over the year. Our practitioners, who are all certified individuals through the governing bodies for orthotics and prosthetics, will keep up on their continuing education.
Basically our background comes from a gentleman that founded Orthotech knee brace company, and he was the first company to ever develop a custom-made knee brace. And he was an avid water skier as well, who skied at our facility. And through that process, when we were training, he asked us to do some R&D work with his products that he was developing for the water sport industry. And he asked us to try a product on where during our activities for the stitching, the material, comfort level, and how the product developed, and how the wear and tear of it during the rugged water ski activities that we did. And so that's kind of how Rick and I got involved in the industry. Would you like to add anything to that, Rick?
Yeah, so when during that time I had an opportunity to go to work for Orthotech and work in a territory and several other manufacturers during the 15-year stint. And I happened to call on some colleges, one being UC Berkeley, and working with them on preventative braces to protect their athletes from long-term knee injuries. These scholarship athletes would come to school and then they'd end up blowing their ACL out, and there was really no protection for the knee. Well, Orthotech and several other manufacturers built products that would protect the instabilities of the knee and allow the patient to not have that injury and keep that scholarship athlete on the field. During the course of that time, we eventually got these colleges to buy stock of product and protect all of their interior linemen from serious injury and protect their scholarship players. And so during that time, I realized there was a market for a retail outlet that would allow us to protect all athletes in different parts of their body when they're playing sports, and to protect it before they get hurt, protect it when they, prophylactically, where they could just come in and buy a product and use it in their everyday sports athletic endeavor. And so that's sort of what brought the idea of why we're here today at KneedABrace, a retail outlet for simple orthopedic goods.
So the inception of KneedABrace, basically how it transpired is Rick and I were both in the field, calling on multiple different medical groups, insurance groups, hospitals, orthopedic surgeons, and with years coming through the sales process and learning the medical billing aspect of the business, every year there are devices that kept getting denied. And a lot of you viewers out there today know that many insurance companies do not pay for sports bracing, and because it should be cash pay. Well, this started years back. Every year they would reduce the fee schedule for simple soft goods. Like, let's talk about maybe just a regular sleeve, a knee brace sleeve. This is no longer covered through insurance. Any insurance, it's going to be cash pay. So through the sales process, I kept hearing accounts complain about the non-reimbursement. And so what was happening is those physicians or medical groups would refer to the big box outlets. And if any of you who've experienced this, you'd go to a big box outlet, you'd look at the retail wall, and you're wondering, first of all, is it the right product I'm buying? What's the correct size? Am I putting it on correctly? And then the quality control. Is the quality control any good? And so the physicians and medical groups that we were calling on, we kept realizing that, hey, there's a problem here. And so that's when Rick and I both went to our relationship physicians and said, hey, if we develop a retail outlet and we have our certified practitioners inside that retail outlet store, would this be something you'd refer to us on? And so that's how KneedABrace was transpired.
We did some survey work with the physicians to come up with what they thought that they would send to our way prescription-wise, and we came up with a simple brochure from those surveys of the top 25 products that the physician would send to us that are typically not covered by insurance. And to this day, we stock the majority of those 25 products, all the sizes. We have a practitioner on staff that understands the measuring and fitting. We have fair market price for them, pretty much the same pricing that you would pay at any of the box stores, but the service, the quality of product that's much higher, and proven products that we've had success with in the field, both selling them and fitting patients.
With the transition of the physicians and the medical groups that continue to get educated on what is and what isn't covered, so now what's happening with the patient, let's say you go to a physician and you get diagnosed with let's say a simple ankle sprain. Well, that simple ankle brace is no longer covered. So what they're going to do, instead of the doctor writing an order and trying to send it through insurance for a denial, they're going to go ahead and say, hey, you need to go to KneedABrace. There's a practitioner there on staff. You can go down there today, get the product, and it's XYZ price, and the patient's going to be able to get taken care of, or the athlete is going to be able to get taken care of, today or tomorrow or the next day, whenever they show up. And there's not a delay in the time frame of the patient or the athlete getting taken care of, because there's the physicians and the medical groups are more educated on what is and isn't covered nowadays.
Yeah, and I mean, you guys know my experience, as we spoke a little bit about that, how when you mentioned the big box stores, is the thing that goes through my mind, how it is true. You go in there, not to make fun of these people or that seem that they're uneducated, but they're there to make a sale. You understand? So that's why I think it's good when you have somebody like a company like KneedABrace to actually, that they concentrate on one thing, which is the braces. That the whole purpose, like you said, when you get recommended by the doctor, you know what you need to be wearing. What I wanted to talk to you guys about also, how are you guys promoting the product besides just doing it through going through the schools? You mentioned that now you have the retail store.
So
How's that?
I think with that, we would want to bring up that you could go online to KneedABrace.com. We have a full retail store online of the 2025 products that we talked about. We also have promoted in Sports Star magazine. We do shows and set up booths at sporting events, one being the motocross show at,
What is that?
I forget what it's called.
Hangtown.
Hangtown, that's right. At Hangtown, some snow ski events, some basketball events, volleyball events, water ski events, even the state fair. We've had a booth there just to publicize that we're out there.
We've gone to the national or the Western Conference for the Football Coach League. It's usually housed in Reno, and all the head coaches and athletic trainers are there. They do it at the beginning of the season, or actually they do it at the end of the season of the football season for the following year. So we've actually had a booth there educating the coaches on how important preventative bracing is. And maybe we should talk about the types of braces.
And one other thing.
That's a good idea. Go ahead.
One other thing, we also promote, do most of our promotion and most of our patients' referrals are from the physicians that have known about us in the community, who are referring here with our brochure. They have the brochure in their department and forward the patient to our office, and we get many referrals that way. And
So let's talk a little bit about the different types of braces you guys use, especially in sports today.
So if we were to just sort of start down here at the end, these are many soft good type products that people would use prophylactically, neoprene hinge type things, slip-on sleeves. This would be a patellofemoral product to control patella instability. And then as you go up the line here, you see more rigid type knee braces, which would be used for anterior cruciate ligament instability. And then as you get down towards the end here, you would get into osteoarthritis bracing, which is a typical thing that happens to us athletes that have worn our knees out over the years. And unfortunately, we're bone on bone and we need to offload. So we're trying to cut down on total knee replacements. One of the products that I would showcase here is in the Endzone knee brace, and the features and benefits of this product is it's a similar knee brace to these Cage products, but it has the thigh pad and the knee pad built into the brace to replace the thigh and knee pad that are in a typical pair of football pants. The knee brace would be worn prophylactically on both legs. The knee pad and thigh pad are attached to it, and it's a simple over-the-counter rigid device that can control instability and work real well with the gear that's presently being used in football. In the state of Texas, this company, Bragg, that builds this product, sold 14,000 of them last year as a preventative unit to the high schools. And then another thing that would be really important is if you scan this way is, and maybe if you wouldn't mind just stepping this way just a little bit, yeah. Ankle bracing, which is a huge thing in basketball and volleyball, where kids have instability, lateral instability, and they need to protect their ankle from instabilities, both medial or lateral side. A lot of times these are worn prophylactically and can help to reduce taping, give excellent support along with their basketball or volleyball shoes.
And this product here is basically the ankle. It's the choice of all the universities. It's basically a lace-up figure eight. It used to have a patent on it by a certain manufacturer. Many of the competitive manufacturers have copied that design, but the universities buy these in thousands units a year, and basically what it's doing is it's taking place of the taping technique from the athletic trainer. What's happening is there's so much time invested into the athletic trainer and taping that the university decided to go with a brace that would replace that time, so the athletic trainer can now work on really rehab instead of the taping time.
Or real difficult cases where they really need to tape for that situation.
Exactly.
You know?
Like maybe during an injury in the field, but
Right.
they can still play. So
Absolutely, get them back on the field.
Yep.
Exactly. And so, you know, I was just going to sort of give a highlight of our store, if that's okay.
yeah, and actually before you do that, I do want to. I got a little curious. You have. I noticed that. Is this part of your product also?
Yeah,
I noticed it has a thing. So,
Yeah, Michael grabbed one so that we can pull it out of the bag. But comfort sleeves is an undergarment that would be worn under orthotics or bracing. It helps with chafing and sweat reduction, much like these garments that are out there for runners. You know, it wicks the sweat away, and it helps with chafing of the brace against the leg. And it could be not just a knee brace, but comfort sleeves is made in many shapes and sizes, whether it be for a back case or it be for somebody that has an arm problem. But our big, you know, we sell lots of knee braces here, so of course people want undersleeves and want to be more comfortable. You know, they're washable and a simple thing to help the patient be more comfortable. Okay,
okay, so now explain to us a little bit more about this specific brace here.
This brace is for patellofemoral diagnosis, where a patient maybe had a problem with their kneecap. And there's many braces in the industry that will help if your patient is just walking, but for sport activity, this would be the product that you need because it's of the rigidity. What it's going to do is hold the patella in place so the patient can run and cut. And it's really one of the only patella braces that Rick and I have come across that actually really gets the patient or the athlete back on the field, even during their injury time. And once the swelling's gone down, the pain's gone away, they can put this brace on and they can get back in the field playing soccer, football, maybe on the court, basketball or volleyball. And this is called the Bragg 2050 brace.
Okay.
Okay.
Is there anything you would like to add, Mike?
No, I think we appreciate you coming in to interview us. That was fun.
I'd like to thank you guys for giving us the opportunity here at MyStarTV and Sports Stars.
Thank you.